Carding in progress.
Yeah, great. Anyway, so thank you so much for coming. It's a lovely select group, which is always great as well. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I love it when, yeah, so thank you so much for giving me your time. As I said on the record before the recording, if there's anything you say you want me to remove, I can absolutely remove it. Now, I thought today, because you both obviously saw me speak at the wonderful event, that I don't really need to, well, you might not disagree, but I don't think I need to cover all the confidence and resilience stuff, because you know all that stuff anyway. So what I was thinking, but this is your hour as far as I'm concerned, to do whatever you want with it. But what I was thinking about is exploring our genius to be the best us. Because I think sometimes, from my experience, number one, we don't always acknowledge what our genius is. And we don't give ourselves the time to really think about it. Does that sound useful?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. And so, so the first thing before we start is, what does genius mean to you? If I say the word genius, what would you think that I meant? Or what does it mean to you?
After you, Alessandro.
Well, immediately I think of Einstein, and then I think, oh, I could never be like him. And then when I hear that he failed university, and he wasn't that brilliant initially, but he somehow, his genius was actually the way he brought science and kind of spirituality and nature together. And to me, that's the genius, that the kind of seeing the whole picture. It's not a person being just brilliant at maths and that's it, you know. So for me personally, it's how we live and how we see the world. Yeah.
Perfect. Brilliant. Jill, what's your thought?
So I'm more on a practical level, in that I see genius as something that's innate in us. It's our, we've been given a gift. You can argue where the gift has come from, but we have this gift in us. And I don't think we automatically know where it comes from. And I think one thing that I found from people, if I ask them what's their happiest childhood memory, whatever they're doing then is connected to their genius. That time when they think that time disappears. So for me, my genius that I remember of time disappearing is when I'm not having to work too hard, when it's not difficult, when I'm not feeling, oh, what's the time? So when I'm reading or I'm writing, I can open a book, page 1, and curl up on the sofa, and then it gets darker and darker and darker. This is like 9 o'clock in the morning, and then I realize it's like 5 o'clock in the evening and I'm not even had lunch, because I've been enjoying what I'm doing so much. I've been making notes on it, I've been, you know, testing all that kind of, and then the time just becomes something that's gone. I also think there is genius in us that we never see ourselves, and we have to have it pointed out to us, and other people go, that's what you do. And it's the stuff that you do naturally that you think, well, everyone does that, don't they? That's easy, that's a piece of cake, everyone can do that. No, I couldn't possibly do that. You're like, oh, okay, maybe that's my part of my genius then. And I also think we have ups and downs of our genius. It's like Elizabeth, what's her name, that did Eat, Pray, Love. Thank you. She shows up for her genius. She's there. Come on, genius, I'm here. Come on, bring it on. And I like that idea that we can call out to a sense of genius, to the universe, and be in waiting for it to come to us as well. So we don't have to work hard to create our genius. So if you're working hard, it's not your genius. You can be good at it, but it's not your genius. So it's something that's natural, as Alessandro was saying, and you know.
Yeah, perfect. So if you look at the definition, it's an exceptional creative power, or an ability or an aptitude. So, and I think that's what often puts people off, that they don't think they've got a genius, because it's got to be exceptional. And actually, but exceptional is you've got it all, as you say, we've got it all within us. It's just we don't acknowledge it, because we feel, how can I say I'm exceptional at anything? But actually, in how I interpret it, it is absolutely what you talk about. It's our natural gifts and talents, which come to us, flow easily. And because it flows easily, we don't acknowledge it. Because we're all taught as children by our parents, teachers, or whatever, you have to work hard to be successful. It's got to be hard. You've got to put effort in. And therefore, and this is where the challenge comes, because when it's our genius, it is so easy, it flows so easily that we don't acknowledge that we've got that talent, because we have this innate thought of our ego telling us it's got to be hard. And if it's not hard, it can't be worth it. So as part of that, this is absolutely, you've heard me talk about Ikigai, where, doing what we love to do, doing where our strengths are, what the world needs, and, what we can be paid for. And so where our genius comes in is that we are in our best self, because I often talk about how to be the best you. We are the best you when we're naturally in our genius. And as part of that, though, we have, and I'm sure you probably know all this from about our brain and so forth. Our brain is merely there to keep us safe and protect us. But in the process of keeping us safe, it's actually not keeping us safe at all, because all it's there for is to trigger danger. From millions of years ago, with tigers out to attack us, we had to sprint. We got a fear, fight, and flight to sprint. No time for our creative bit of our brain gets completely wiped out, because in those, if you've got a tiger chasing you, you don't want to be thinking, oh, I don't fancy it today. I think I'll do it tomorrow. Much nicer, better do it tomorrow when the sun's shining. It's no, cut all that out, go sprint, you need to survive. And unfortunately now, it's survival because of emails, because of deadlines, because of building our businesses, all this internet going, whatever it is that just tries to wipe us out or attempts to wipe us out. But that's what our unconscious, our ego. So we have two contrasting bits. We've got our genius, which is our super consciousness, which is the best version of us. And that's where our intuition just is magic. And then we've got our unconscious, which is our ego that's there to keep us safe and protect us. That's saying, don't do that, don't make those calls, don't do this, you might get rejected, just don't even start. You're not good enough, who do you think you are? You don't belong. All that negativity, that's purely our ego, our unconscious keeping us safe, to say, just don't put yourself out there because you might get rejected, that's not pleasant. And yet we know that actually taking the action is what we need to do. So when you hear of the subconscious is a combination of our super conscious, which is our genius, our intuition, and our ego keeping us safe. We all know that once we listen to our intuition, we never go wrong. How often can we on occasion let our ego or our unconscious kick in and override it, and then always we wonder why we did it, because we just knew. I mean, how many times it could be a big thing, like a business partner that we just have this hunch that it's just not a right collaboration, but we kind of, or our knowledge, or a financial decision. I remember in my early 20s, when I was just starting to save, a friend of mine had a great friend who's a financial advisor, and we were in Hong Kong, and all his friends and everyone were all investing in this financial guy. And I thought, well, I'm only 20, they're all in their 40s, they must know more than me. And I just didn't feel right. But I just thought, oh, well, if everyone else has got it right, I can't be the one that's right.
Yeah.
So I invested. A couple of years later, he was in prison for gambling, and he'd embezzled everybody's money.
Wow.
And and that was a real lesson to me, that actually we have a real strong sense of intuition. It's nothing to do with age, experience, who we are, who we're, anything about us, our culture, anything. it has that inbuilt sense of what we know feels right. And sometimes you can't explain it. And certainly when I was a midwife, I used to have this sense, somebody, a woman would come in labor or whatever, and I just had this sense that there's something wasn't right. And there was nothing to indicate, there was no health parameters or anything. There was just something that I just felt wasn't right. And I always used to share that with the doctors, and most of the time they said, don't rubbish, that's rubbish, rubbish. Every single time something happened, and then they learned that if Lizzy said, there's something not right, okay, well, we'll explore this a bit further.
Wow.
But that's so much to do with trust, which is where the confidence and the resilience comes in, because confidence is trusting ourselves and others. We trust, or something else. We trust that if we turn on the internet, we might have some Wi-Fi. We trust ourselves for making the decision, or we trust that if you say you're going to do what you're going to do, I trust that you're going to do that. So confidence is so more to do with trust. So this is where it's really important that we trust ourselves to listen to our intuition. And I've heard incredible stories where when you trust your genius and your intuition, magic really happens. And I was talking to somebody last week who said, I don't know why, he said, I just got this sense I needed to go to Dubai. He said, no idea why.
Wow.
And he said, well, okay. So we thought, okay, let's go for a holiday to Dubai. And well, obviously he's lucky, he's quite financially, so he could just afford to just go to Dubai. I'm not saying we can all do that, but anyway, he went to Dubai. I thought, this is really weird. I really feel I should be here, but I've no idea why I'm here. He met somebody in the hotel lobby, and they just started chatting like you do. And that person was absolutely looking for a presentation about, he was running a conference, he was looking for this speaker, and this guy was that speaker.
Wow.
And then he ended up doing a huge amount of work in Dubai. Just because he listened to his hunch about, I just think I need, and how often do we have that hunch where, well, somebody will phone us and we'll just say, that's really weird, I was just thinking about ringing you today. That's all to do with our super genius and our intuition. So the more we can do about this, the better. So what I think if you want to do this, I was going to share with you, is giving you some time to have and I'll do a little visualization if that works for you, to get you really in tune with your intuition and your genius, so that actually that's when suddenly you get clear direction of what you need to do. It's like Jill this morning, that post you did this morning was awesome about your retreat. And I know you've been thinking about doing that for a while. But you said that was a really good example where we can have some great idea we want to do, and then our ego kicks in. Oh, no one will come. I'm not saying this is related for you, but we can have that we cannot do it. Oh, no one will come. Nobody interested. Oh, I won't make, I'll lose all the money. Or all these fears that come up. I'll feel rejected. All these natural. I'm not even good enough. Why did I think I'm able to do such a thing? So we don't actually follow that through to do what is absolutely within our genius, what is absolutely our gift to make a difference. And then what happens then is we become out of integrity, because when we're in integrity, when we're whole and complete, I'm not meaning integrity as in doing a crime or something, integrity meaning we are whole and complete, like, as you probably heard me talk about, like a bicycle wheel that just flows naturally, opposed to chunking that bicycle wheel where it just clonks. So when we feel overwhelmed, it's because we're not in integrity. However, on the sideline, I always encourage clients to celebrate when you feel overwhelmed, Because when you feel overwhelmed, it's because you're pushing yourself up higher, opposed to staying in your familiar, your comfort zone. Because whenever you feel overwhelmed, you're actually stretching yourself. So rather than thinking, I know from experience what a horrible feeling it is. If we start reframe that thinking, wow, that means I'm pushing myself here. Be proud that you're feeling like that.
Yeah.
Which then helps change that energy within us to think, actually, okay, right, well, okay, let's just do it. So what I'm going to just offering here for you to do in a minute, I think I'll do a little visualization exercise with you both. And as part of that, it's having a 3-stage process. The first one is once you've had that visualization, you've got a bit of time to sort of feel where you are. It's having something will pop up in your head as to what you should be doing next. So it's having an intention as to, and I think we all have obviously lots of areas in our lives, and obviously with only sort of an hour here, we can't just do one area. So that's up to you to choose what area that is. It could be your business, your relationships, your health, your spiritual well-being, your financial, whatever aspect. And I think the other thing about intuition, which is great about it, is when you trust it, it will pop up. It's not something you search for. You'll just get, it will just hit you as to, all right, this is what I need to think about now. So it's starting off with an intention as to what aspect of your life, and be really present to that. And then, once we do it, I'll leave you sort of for 10 minutes or so in quietness, and by all means turn your camera off, to just sit with it for a while, and I'll have the timer on so we can time 10 minutes. And you'll be amazed of just the things that will just naturally come up. And then after the 10 minutes, then you can, if you've got a pen and paper, just dump on a piece of paper what's come up to you. And there's no judgment in that. So I think it's just literally brain dumping. And I think this is when it's really important to be curious, not judgmental, criticism or comparison. It's just noticing what comes up. And it can be really revealing. You up for that?
Yeah, up for that.
Yeah, go for it.
Brilliant. Okay. So again, if you want to turn your camera off now or just close your eyes, it's up to you, whichever you want to do.
I think I will. I'm still here.
Yeah, it's okay. That's all right. Yep. So I just want you to sit quietly with your feet on the floor. If you're sitting in a chair, that you can put your feet on the floor, with your head resting and your back in the back of the chair. And I just want you to just take a few deep breaths and just concentrate on your breathing. And just count to 4 as you breathe in. Hold it for 5 seconds and then breathe out for 6 seconds. So you're breathing out a little bit longer than you're breathing in. Just do that for a little bit, a few more breaths. And just imagine you've got a white light above your head, and it's radiating above your head, and the light is coming through your head, through your body, down through your arms, coming out of your fingers, just going further and further down in your body. And as this white light embraces your body, at the same time, it's pushing out any negativity through the ground. And that white light's getting brighter and brighter and brighter as it passes through your body. And as it's come right the way through your body, and all that negativity and all that cruddy stuff is just going out through the ground, that light gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it radiates round you and in the room that you're in. And that with that white light, it helps you think about all the areas in your life, relationships, projects, where you want to have fun, who you want to be with, your spiritual, financial, your dream life. And above your head is a bright star. And that bright star just makes that white light even bigger, even brighter. And you might notice it's different colors are coming into that light. It might stay white, it might change, it might have rainbows, it could be pink, purple, blue, any color under the rainbow. And that white light is very soothing, very comforting. And within that white light, it gives you an unbelievable sense of confidence and peace and tranquility and an incredible sense that whatever you want to do is totally possible. And you have complete freedom to do whatever you want in the world, whatever impact you want to have in the world is all there. And success is absolutely assured. So as you sit there quietly, have a think and see what pops up as to what aspect of your life you want to focus on right now. That if you had someone with a magic wand, it would just create it without effort. It would just flow with absolute freedom as it shows your natural ability and talents and your exceptional creative power that's there already within you. So have a think, what area is it you would like to focus on? Relationships, business, financial, travel, friends, family, an aspect of your business that you want to achieve, something that you've thought of but you thought wasn't possible. It could be a financial goal. It could be doing something completely different that you've not even thought of, or you have thought of but thought that's just not possible. I couldn't possibly do that. And then set your intention as to what aspect of your life you want that to be. So as you feel really present, let your intuition bubble up. So I'm going to let you sit quietly with it for 10 minutes to allow it to just bubble up. And I will set a timer so you don't need to worry about time. And just sit there really quietly, just concentrate on your breathing. And just notice what comes up. I'm just going to get the 10 minutes to start from now. And I shall stay quiet so you can actually just allow that incredible intuition within you to flow with ease and freedom, and see what pops up. So just setting the timer for 10 minutes. And during that 10 minutes, I want you just to relax. Just sit quietly and see what pops up. Because it's amazing what can pop up when we quieten our ego, our unconscious mind that's telling us we're not good enough. Who do you think you are? This will never work. And let your true genius intuition shine through. So I will manage the time. I will tell you when we're 5 minutes in and you have another 5 minutes to go. And then the end of that, I invite you, and I will tell you when the 10 minutes is up, to get your pen and paper or pencil, whatever you want to, however you want to write, and just scribble down everything that came into your mind. And then just without judgment, without criticism, without comparison, just curiosity. Don't worry about grammar, spelling, writing, anything like that. This is just to brain dump all those thoughts where your intuition was at its strongest onto a piece of paper. And you might be amazed of things that come up. And then when you've done that, then it's having an action list. But I don't mean like a goals and a long to-do list. You'll find there'll be one thing that really shines out strongly to you. And it's a simple action that could transform your business, your life, your relationship. It could be something really simple, like if you're thinking about, how you can enhance your relationship. Right, I'm going to book a restaurant, we're going out for supper together. Or in your business, it could be, right, I'm going to call these people that I haven't spoken to for a while. These just names that just pop up into my head. Or it could be friends. It could be, oh my goodness, I'm just going to ring so-and-so because I haven't spoken to them for a while. It doesn't need to be a massive action, but the impact of that action could be huge. So enjoy. And I look forward to seeing how you get on. Take care. Bye.